Welcome to another episode of Meal Prep Monday. I'm your host, Allison Schaaf. And today we are talking about something that I've never talked about on this podcast before, and that is strength training. Before we dive in, a quick reminder that if you have not tried out our time-saving meal prep meal plans, you can head to prepdish.com/MPM, that's short for Meal Prep Monday, and we will let you try it out 2 weeks for free. When you sign up for that 2-week free trial, you get access to low-carb menus, paleo, gluten-free. We also have our super fast menus. These are my personal favorite right now, but those are meal plans that require 1 hour of prep. And once you get through that hour of prep, which is pretty quick and easy, you have meals for the week. You have 5 dinners, really family-friendly foods. And the best way to see if it's a fit, just head there and give it a try for 2 weeks for free. You can cancel at any time if you decide it's not a fit, but hopefully it could be the next solution for saving time and making mealtime just a lot easier than it may currently be. Okay, so strength training. I know, gosh, this may seem a little off topic, but I don't know. I've been going a little off topic sometimes with this podcast, and I've been getting into this, and I thought it was something, I don't know, maybe some of you would like to hear about, and that is strength training. So strength training is something I did in high school. I remember like lifting weights in high school and I guess enjoying it, like, because I remember in the summers doing it as well. So I guess I was sort of into it, or I don't know, maybe everyone else was doing it. Since lifting in high school, I've never really done actual like heavy lifting of weights. I've done kind of the handheld stuff, and, I've been active my whole life in terms of like group fitness classes and all of that. But going all the way back to the barbell strength training is something that I hadn't done since high school. Really, the inspiration behind it was my husband. So a few years ago, he wanted to get into it, and he'd never done it before either. So he took a part of so in Texas, a lot of people have these big garages and they're called shops. So and actually my office, so I'm recording this podcast in our shop. So I have a little corner that's my office. There's a corner that is our gym, and he bought all the equipment to do weightlifting. And he had been doing that for several years and had kind of, mentioned to me a time or two, like, oh, I think you might like it. You should give it a try. So it'd come up a few times, and I had always been interested in doing it. I think part of my hesitation was when we were doing all of our fertility, and that's a whole other thing, but some of you might know, like, our fertility journey was kind of a little, drawn out, and I was a little hesitant. And this is me. So I'm not saying you can't weightlift while you're pregnant or trying to conceive, because I know you totally can, and it can be safe if it's done in the right way. But I was hesitant to like add something new. And I think that's the problem when you're like going through trying to conceive in pregnancy. You don't want to like add in new things. But if you've been doing it, it's fine. So that was, I guess my hesitation may be an excuse. But recently I was like, maybe I should get into that. And somewhere along the line, when he'd ordered some new weights, he'd actually even ordered me my own bar, because with the bars, there's I guess men and women use a different sized one. So he already had all the weightlifting stuff, and then I had the bar. And he uses a service where it's online and there's a coach, and they create a plan for you. And the best part is you record a video and they evaluate your video. So the company that I use is called Barbell Logic, and I'll get more into that and kind of that process. But yeah, so he'd bought the equipment for me, and I decided, I was like, I think I want to get into this. And I was like, maybe now's a good time. And he also had sent me, I think they were running some sort of special. And I was like, okay, maybe I should just give it a try for a month, see how it goes, see if I like it. And another big hesitation for me was, I don't want to get into a sport that then results in a lot of injuries. Like, running can be really healthy, but I also, one, I don't enjoy running. So that's the reason I'm not a runner. But also, like, if you run a lot, sometimes you can be more prone to that, can come with certain injuries if not done correctly. My concern with strength training is I don't want to get into a point where I run into a lot of injuries. Like, I want to do something that's like healthy and good for my body and isn't going to cause issues. So that was one of my hesitations, but that's why I like the idea of going with having a coach and someone that can walk me through it to really fine tune my form and make sure I'm doing everything correctly. And I'm not going to make, I want to make my body better, not worse. That's not the most eloquent way of saying it, but that's kind of like what it boils down to in terms of my goal, right? So I decided to go ahead and give this a try. I've been doing it for about 4 months now. And I know I'm like halfway through the episode, but in the episode, I thought I would share 5 reasons that I'm loving this weightlifting routine. Like I thought I might enjoy it. And I'd kind of, before, like I'd been doing, like I said, I've kind of cycled through all the different things. I was really into Pilates for a long time, for many years in my 20s of like, I really loved using a reformer. I've gotten into a lot of group exercise things. I've done Zumba. I've been really into yoga. I just kind of cycle through. And for me, a lot of it's kind of like, what do I enjoy? And I wasn't sure how much I would like this, but I knew it was worth a try. And also just knowing that, having strength and being strong, especially as we age, is just so important. And I'm not going to go through all those reasons here, but just so important for, our body and our health. So I thought it was worth giving it a try. And fortunately, I actually have really taken to it and started to enjoy it and look forward to it. And so here are the 5 reasons, without further ado, as I get into this, that I'm loving this new weightlifting routine. So number 1 is I feel really strong, and I didn't know that I didn't feel strong before, but it just feels good to feel strong. So that's number 1. Number 2, I love the system that I have because there's an accountability piece. Like I have a coach that checks in with me. She sets my schedule each week. And if I miss a workout, which I totally do, but she will follow up with me and see what's wrong, see if she needs to change it to a different day, but really gives that accountability piece. So I know someone's checking in with me. And then the third part, I really love the challenge. I do tend to sometimes the weights look a little intimidating to me when, as we go up in numbers. And so I'll kind of I didn't, I'll try and back off a little bit. But overall, I am a person that likes a challenge, and they're definitely it feels like every day I'm coming into a challenge, but I also feel like it's a realistic one because I know that she's setting weights that are safe and appropriate for me. The fourth thing I really love about this is I don't have to think about it. I have to schedule it, and I have to put that on my calendar to make sure it happens. I have to there's a lot of coordination in making it happen, but I don't have to once I get into it, I don't have to there's no second oh, what should I do today? It's here is what I have to do. Here is the weight. All of that's done for me. So in this way, I compare it to our meal plans, because with the meal plans, you don't have to think about it, right? Just tell me what to eat. This is very similar to hey, just give me a really healthy, tasty meal to feed to my family and I'll do it. This is the same thing. It's hey, give me the best system and the weights and what I need to do. I'll block off the time and I'll do it. Hey, I'll block off the time. I'll do an hour of meal prep and then I'll have, have the meal. So it's very similar in that regards of having someone else doing it for you. I'm outsourcing the hard part about it. And that leads me to the 5th part or the 5th reason that I really love this is I actually have fun and I enjoy it. And I wasn't sure if I would, but I kind of kept an open mind as I've gotten into it. It's really been something that has been fun for me. And kind of tied into that is I think it feels like it's something for me. And I'm sure there's some of you out there that can relate to this of I have a lot going on in my life and giving and doing a lot for other people and other things. But when I'm working out and I feel like that's something that's just for me and I'm doing it for me. So I think that maybe makes it more fun. I don't know. Or maybe it's the 6th reason. But those are the 5 reasons that I'm really loving it right now. If this is something that you want to try, they gave me a link for a free trial. And so I'll link that in the show notes. I will say, if this is something you want to try and you think it's a fit, go for it. The catch on this is you do need the equipment. And for me, that was, because my husband already had the equipment, it was kind of an risk-free way of giving it a try. So you would need access to a barbell and weights. Now, this wouldn't have to be necessarily in a home gym. This could also be in a gym or fitness center. And then, I record. Oh, and a little tip if you do decide to go this route is I have a tripod. I use that for actually filming prep dish stuff, but my husband used it to film his workouts and I use it to having a tripod to help film the workouts is definitely worth the purchase or, I don't know what the cost is, but it's worthwhile there. But yeah, you record not every single lift, but kind of one of each. And the lifts are just kind of cycle through the standard. It's squats and press and bench and deadlift, but it's 3 each day. You kind of alternate the press and the bench. So that's my experience with using Barbell Logic. I don't know that there's another episode here, but if there's questions you have on it, you can always at Prep Dish on Instagram, reach out to me. I'm always happy to, give you my feedback or talk about it. And even if this is not for you and this specific, type of strength training is not for you, maybe this episode, part of the kind of my thought behind this episode is if you are in a rut with your exercise routine or wanting to add on something to your exercise routine or start one. I know that's, like I said, I've cycled through a lot of different kinds of workouts through my life and always just kind of finding the next thing that I enjoy and can stick with. So maybe this episode will at least inspire you to kind of think through where are you at with your exercise routine, fitness routine, and is there something else you can look into to mix things up and keep it fun? I mean, that's really, yes, I'm doing it for the health benefits, but it's also really something for me, the reason I really value fitness and exercise is it's something I enjoy. And that's, well, I won't go into the whole other, but my other thing that I do is walking. And for me, I really enjoy my walks. It's very relaxing. I get outside and I get in nature. So I think that's a big piece of it. I think that's all I had to talk about for today. Again, if you want that link for more information on my specific program, use that. I don't know if they let you pick your coach. I was just assigned a coach, but I do really love the coach I work with. So if you're interested in that, you could always message me and I can send you her name and maybe they'll let you request her because I think she's awesome. But I've had other coaches sub in when she's gone and I've always been impressed. And I know Brooke really loves the coach he works with. So I think you're probably in good hands wherever you go. But that is linked in the show notes. And that's all I have for today. I will be back next week with another episode of Meal Prep Monday, talking about something other than strength training, but hopefully you enjoyed this little kind of tangential episode that's slightly off topic. So that's all I have for this week. I'll see you again next Monday.